So starting with our rapid fire, which is quite famous because it gives a good, perspective about you as a person also to our viewers. So tell us, if you had to share a title of a book which has created a good impact on your life, what book that would be?
The Founder's Mentality is one good book, which I
Mm.
think every entrepreneur has to read it. And definitely, as a employee, from employee to an investor, everyone has to understand how it works. So definitely, that's a book that I would recommend.
If entrepreneurship wasn't your path, which profession would have pursued and why?
I would have taken something more on the innovation, technology innovation side. I
Hmm.
would have much more gone into building large scale tech products and taken some career from like software engineering on the deep tech,
Hmm.
that side.
Nice. So reflecting on your journey as a founder, what stands out as the most challenging decision that you had to make?
Challenging would be definitely pursuing NestAway and HelloWorld at the second stage,
Hmm.
which is like creating it part of Aurum and taking it further. So that is
Hmm.
a big decision at this point of time, and I would think that the large set of things, that's the best decision I've taken.
Do you have a productivity hack that consistently helps you stay on top of your task?
One thing at a time. So that's very much required.
Hmm.
How I have evolved is like I used to take pride of working long hours
Hmm.
and working on too many things at the same point of time.
Hmm.
How I have evolved is I really categorically prioritize things and make sure that at any point of time I have just single thing on my focus and I focus on that part and
Hmm.
make sure that that's completed and then I move to the next one.
Nice.
So that prioritization is very essential. Otherwise, we spend a lot of time. We think we are working, but
True.
the bus is not moving.
True.
So
So entrepreneurs receive a lot of advice when they start their journey. So I'm sure you must have received one of the best advice that you still follow. And there must be one of the worst advice that you must have heard, not followed, but would have made you chuckle.
So the worst advice has been like typically that came along the duration of 2015 to 2020 for a lot of entrepreneurs was grow fast, right?
Hmm.
So everyone was told grow fast. Nothing was asked, just grow fast. And all of us, many of us actually went into that and we just went and just grew fast without looking at any business numbers apart from the top line.
Hmm.
So that was one of the biggest mistake that I had done. And definitely, I think the advice that I got was actually very wrong if I look at the point of things.
And the best advice that you have
Best
received.
advice is also very much similar. So what this is from an Indian successful entrepreneur who had given me,
Hmm.
without quoting his name, he said that whatever happens, the profitability has to be the first, followed by your experience, followed by growth. So growth happens when you are focused on getting the profitable stack in place. If you focus on the experience part, growth is an outcome. It is not a target that needs to be met. So growth, we should not be following like we need 20%, 30% quarter on quarter growth.
Hmm.
That's an outcome.
Yeah.
So we have to rely and focus only on the things that we can count as our output,
True.
not the outcome. And output has to be how the experience matters,
Yeah.
how the business individual metrics matters.
Hmm.
Growth is an outcome, so it should happen automatically.
It's a great advice.
So we actually kind of get lost. Like we means I used to do that. Okay, I need this much of growth, and from there I'll start.
Yeah.
Whereas it's a leading. We have to get it automatically. It will happen if you do all these things right.
True.
So that's where the transition for me also it has happened.
That's a great advice for sure. Also, tell us, when you build your team, what are the three top qualities do you prioritize when you are looking for your team members?
The first thing that I see the grit or the perseverance part, like both, that's very much required. At least for the senior leadership that we see, like that's very much required. So some of the few questions that I ask is how they have dealt in difficult situations which are prolonged for a long time.
Hmm.
So generally, we have very smart people, right? Hiring like you have a good amount of talent available, and they have great solutions for any kind of problem.
Yeah.
But did they have any problems in life which went on for some long period of time, and how did they overcome about? So that becomes very crucial as a very important factor for me hiring is that whether they have the perseverance to kind of deal for a longer period of time.
True.
Because what I see is where I have seen it's not working out is where presence has been less,
Mm.
people have given up early. So
Yeah.
that's a quality I see as the highest.
Mm.
Okay. Then comes ethics, and where we are talking about how you will giving multiple scenarios. Obviously, the easier one is not the best one,
Mm.
and though it's a difficult and longer one, but whether you are following all the best of ethics, like whether it's the right thing for your employees who are reporting to you, whether it's
Mm.
right for the investors, whether it's right for all the shareholders.
Mm.
So that kind of understanding has to happen. So ethics is very important. The second I would rate it. The third is like your problem solving abilities.
Yeah.
So because as we know, at a leadership, under the senior leadership, we will be thrown into multiple kind of problems which you have not prepared yet.
Mm.
No one could have predicted the pandemic to happen, right?
Mm.
And it happens.
Yeah.
No one would have predicted like the Gaza Strip would happen, like war. It can happen. Ukraine can happen. So those type of things are non-predictable. So your team should have a huge problem-solving ability to kind of come across any kind of problem and able to come out with a good solution.
True.
So these are the three things that I like. Perseverance has to be there.
Mm.
That's the first thing. Then the ethics, and then the problem solving.
And if you have to describe your leadership style into 3 words, what that would be?
What I have is like very normal. I think it's very common abilities of leader, but something like I say that I never give targets.
Mm.
I always seek targets. Like it's something that people have to own. So
Mm.
what you have the people below you, they have to be empowered to the highest extent.
Mm.
And I will be there to kind of solve any of the problems that they are facing,
Mm.
any of the failures that they are facing. That's my ability or my job to get that solved.
Mm.
So that way, what happens there? Your the owner mindset that we always talk of, like entrepreneurs should have owner mindset and all, that gets passed on.
True.
So everyone has to have that ownership feeling
Mm.
from top to bottom,
Mm.
and that can only be started from the leader.
Yeah.
So if I'm empowering my people below with maximum abilities, like they can do everything.
Mm.
I'll say that you have all the arms, you have all the ammunitions, and you can go. And if you fail, if anything goes wrong, you just pass the blame to me. So that way they're empowered and they go ahead. And that becomes a huge kind of a mode because then your team's excellence, your productive metrics, everything drastically improves.
True.
So that empowerment is something that I kind of take care. And that's part of the major leadership that I do. Otherwise, like everything else is same. But this way, like for example, I told you I will never go and say that this is your target ever.
Yeah.
I have never done that. But I would say that what's your target that you think you can do? Tell me what all things you need and how I can help you to get it there. So that way, everything is at people who are working much efficiently and about to empower and tell that okay, this is my data, this is my area, this is my sales, this is my marketing. Everything becomes mine, and people have taken ownership and they have actually outperformed much better.
And that's quite interesting to look at. Like not giving targets, but asking them to give targets. It of course makes them become like a self-starter.
Right.
It motivates them to achieve certain goals which they are going to commit. This is what I'm going to achieve, which is a good way to look at.
Right.
So tell me, after a demanding day, how do you prefer to unwind and recharge?
Mostly like a few days, couple of days, I make sure I watch Netflix and a few OTTs that I always have passion about. So that is there, and reading books. Like evening post 10 o'clock, I preferably read and write things. So making sure that is there anything that I want to capture as a learning, and journaling is part of life, but it is mixed with watching, binge watching like over the weekends. Everything happens.
Nice. So, are there any emerging real estate trends that you believe will have a profound impact on the industry future?
Definitely, I see real estate as an investment unit, as an investment vehicle. That will happen. Lot of retail investors will join the real estate movement. People will start investing in real estate stocks, kind of thing, which are directly owning an asset. Today, it's not happening. So, REIT kind of formats in much adaptable format, it will hit the market soon.
Yeah.
So, and that is where the ecosystem will evolve, and people will be like should be able to invest 5,000 and own a piece of it.
True.
So that's something that I foresee is coming.
So, in this dynamic world of real estate, what's one unexpected lesson that has left a lasting impression on you?
I think the largest piece was always the pandemic. So that taught us like yes, any scale can happen because everyone was telling nothing will happen, and suddenly like one announcement comes and everything, the whole world stops.
Yeah.
So that actually was very, very surprising. Like we were never expecting, and then it happened. And then how do you make sure you huge team everywhere there is a confusion? What will happen? So that prepared us a lot, and that's something the biggest I have seen till that.
So beyond your current focus, is there any other real estate market that currently piques your investment interest?
In terms of real estate, typically I am also invested in AIFs
Okay.
and looking into that as a investment area. It's a very interesting area of
True.
ownership in real estate.
Hmm.
And definitely in real estate, what I see is people going for fractional ownership with regular income. So people, as I was telling, like the ownership that I should own this house,
Hmm.
that is going drastically away.
Yeah.
Now people say that I should invest in real estate because it will give me this much return
Return. Yeah.
and this much of ownership, which will give me this much appreciation later.
True.
So that thought has come down, come to this new set of people of as investors a much big way, and that is where also I am kind of investing, and I keep on investing in those alternate investment categories where we just invest, we own part of things, and that gives me regular income apart from the appreciations.
Nice. So, could you describe yourself in 5 words that capture your essence?
Very, very simple words like always a learner,
Hmm.
uh, deeply insightful in terms of spirituality, love economics.
Hmm.
Fourth is family man, and fifth is love traveling.
Nice. So, as we approach the new year, 2024, what are the most things you're looking forward to? It can be personal or even work.
New Year personal, like much more into. I'll be traveling to some different country again, and in terms of work wise, really looking forward because there is a lot of activity that will happen in the rental ecosystem. What I foresee, and as simple as like I am looking forward into the real estate optic part as one of the larger things that will come up in the whole invested market scenarios. So
Yeah.
we'll see a lot of investment, lot of traction happening in this segment in 2024 because it has evolved over the pandemic 2 years. So that is something that I'm looking forward to.